And welcome to episode 585. Yeah, 800. Yeah, we're not that far. 585 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says,
I don't know why he saved my life. Maybe in those last moments he loved life more than he ever had before. Not just his life, anybody's life. My life. All he wanted were the same answers the rest of us want. Where do I come from? Where am I going? How long have I got? All I could do was sit there and watch him die.
jeez.
It's the ending narration of the Blade Runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch it again?
No, I haven't, but somebody was quoting. I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody was quoting the Roy Batty monologue at the end there, and I was just like, I need to watch that again. I'm like, but I, I need to use a Blade Runner clip. I don't want to use that one because I've used that before, and it's
Right.
And weirdly, it's a movie that's not full of a ton of great quotes.
Okay.
Like the Roy Batty monologue, obviously.
Right.
And there's a couple others here and there, but like it's not like a movie where, because like most of the movie is a back and forth. There's not a ton of like monologue. I mean, other than like Deckard, if you look at the original version,
Right.
the theatrical version, Deckard's narration, but most of that is like that little bit at the end. I remember that was kind of poignant because he's talking about like that moment between him and Roy.
Okay.
But other than that, like, it's not, everything else is kind of like conversational. So it's like interesting, like conversation, but it's not like a single quote you can pull and say, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but I mean, Roy's monologue before he dies that's epic,
Right.
you know.
It is.
And Rudger Hauer's delivery of that monologue is so fucking good. He's that guy I can't figure out why he wasn't bigger.
Rudger Hauer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He had a strange way about him, I guess.
I guess. Like, I mean, he did like odd movies. He ended up doing like a lot of like straight to video movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he should have been a leading man. Like he
Right.
like I can see why you're saying like, well, I can't put him on a poster and his name in bright lights. But at the same time, like he was a good enough actor. He should have had better parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even in like the Batman Begins, like I was excited. I'm like, oh, Rutger Hauer's in this. I wonder, and like his role was minimal.
Right.
I was like, fuck, there's a wasted opportunity. Why would you waste Rutger Hauer?
Yeah.
Wasted.
It is wasted.
Yeah, but his career is just like an odd one. Like I mean, I'm sure he lived comfortably.
Yeah.
And all right, so after calming small children down.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but that's like Rutger Hauer. I just feel like he should have had a bigger career. One of those just oddball things. It's like we ask that question all the time, like why isn't Chris Pine a bigger actor? Like
Right.
same thing here.
Right.
I
ain't falling for that trap.
No, that's a trap. That is a ruse.
Your cat is loving the. You got a punch to her.
She does. Well, it's that odd thing of like she doesn't know how to properly play.
She does not.
No, because she didn't have like a wonderful kittenhood. She was living to survive.
Yeah. And she's like, she wants to play, but she's off.
Yeah, she doesn't quite know how to play. She has gained better claw control, like when she's playing with me.
Yeah.
But she'll still light me up.
Yeah.
Like and she feels bad about it. Like she immediately like she does it, and then she like grabs me and licks me. Like
Oh,
like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. It happened.
my cat was infamous, Marmalade,
Yeah.
for, and he was the most gentle cat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when he got rough, when you got rough with him, when you got him right on the chest, you know, he'd box with you and stuff.
Yeah.
He was infamous, and he didn't claw that much. He was like a biter.
Yeah.
But he was infamous for getting that his nail under your nail and
Yeah.
getting it caught.
Yeah. Oh.
Ah, and you're like, God damn it, cat. And you're like
Yeah.
trying to retract the claws as he's ripping the flesh underneath your nail. It's
Yeah.
like some kind of Vietnam flashback.
That uber tender skin underneath your nail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're sitting there fucking bleeding.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about cats.
Oh no, because I for about 10 minutes this week I almost got a new cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nancy's sister's texting me these pictures of these kittens
Right.
that they found.
Play. Yeah.
And she's like, we're taking them to a shelter, but do you want one?
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? No, I really can't take one in. No, it's not a good time. Gotcha.
Yeah, right on the kneecap. She's like, I'm just trying to play here.
Right. And like 10 seconds later, Nancy comes in and like, she's taking them to a kill shelter. These cats aren't going to live.
Right.
I'm like, fuck. Don't do that to me. So then I'm like, yeah, we'll take one then.
Right.
If they're going to a kill shelter, I'll take one.
Right.
Well, now these kittens we determined were about 3 weeks old.
Right.
Like should not have been away from their mother at all.
Oh God.
And they took them to the shelter because they were going to turn into there was 3 of them total. They were going to give 2 to the shelter and they're going to bring the 3rd one to me. And the shelter was like, we can't let you take that cat. That cat's too young. You can't take it away. We have to take it.
To kill it.
No, since they're 3 weeks old. I mean, they're going to go into a like they'll go to like a surrogate home, like somebody who
Yeah.
like they take in kittens like that. They're trained to help them, you know, get them past like I think 8 weeks is when you're supposed to give away a kitten, or when a kitten is adoptable.
Right.
So like these people were like trained to like kind of like be surrogates and give the kitten milk and all the stuff that you have to do to kind of like get them ready for adoption.
Okay.
Because kittens will go. Like if it was a cat, like 2-year-old cat, like those got unfortunately like I mean, if they go to a kill shelter, yeah, they're on death row.
Right.
But kittens usually get adopted. So like the shelter is viewing that as a a possible windfall.
Right.
So, but for like 10 minutes, I like almost had a cat, and I was like,
that's cool.
yeah,
almost.
Like, and I'm not ready to adopt another cat. Like, we're just not in a situation where like having another cat is like a good idea, in my opinion.
Right.
But the idea did excite me a little bit, and I had a name already picked out.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was another Blade Runner thing. I was gonna call her Priss.
Okay.
So we're gonna put that name aside. Just tuck it away for maybe next time.
Yeah.
And she's a nutter. But that and I had this is the weirdest shit.
Okay.
So in my bathroom, back to my bathroom.
Yeah.
The light bulb was going on.
Okay.
And I figured it had to be one of those fluorescent ones or something because like it was like blinking, like it would just start like almost like it like at one point I thought, well, I just blinked. I blinked. It wasn't the light, it was me. I blinked, but it became more and more frequent. and then it started strobing. Like you turn it on to be fine for a minute, and then it would like start strobing and stuff. I'm like, okay, well I need to change its light bulb.
Okay.
So I get up on the ladder, and it had like it's a dome, and then it had like the nut,
Screw piece.
the
Yeah.
screw piece. I unscrew the screw piece, and the entire fixture comes down. I'm like, what the fuck? How do I change like this is all one piece? Like this doesn't make any sense.
Just push it back.
I put it back up, and I called the landlord. I tried tinkering. That dome was not coming off.
Right.
Well, it turns out it's an LED light,
Okay.
and it's all one piece.
Oh.
So I had to call him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to change the light bulb in the bathroom, and I can't. And he's like, oh yeah, it's an LED. I have to change out the entire thing. I'm like, oh, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have called you if it was if I could change the light bulb, I'll change it. And he just replaced it with another LED thing. He's like, yeah, I should get about 5, 6 years out of that.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, works for me,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that was just a weird thing. I've never seen that before.
Right.
You know, I've never seen a fix. It's like you don't replace the light bulb, you just replace the entire fixture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that either.
Yeah.
It's a screw bulb or something.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, okay. I hate to bother you to change the light bulb, but I need you to change the light bulb.
Right.
So that's kind of been my week.
Changing light bulbs.
Yeah. I did watch last night The Fall Guy. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt.
Yeah. How was
One.
that?
I will say this. Now, I watched it on Peacock, and they had on there the extended edition.
Okay.
I don't know how it compares to the theatrical version because I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
But I thought the movie was just meh.
Okay.
And I hate that because I actually was looking forward to that, if you recall.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
really wanted to see this. I thought, wow, this is kind of a good idea. I hope this does well. And yeah, there were like moments where it was like there's this whole sequence where like the whole concept of the movie is Ryan Gosling plays stuntman Colt Seaver,
Okay.
and he's the stunt double for one of the biggest movie stars in the world,
Okay.
and he's doing this stunt, and the stunt goes wrong, and he breaks his back.
Yeah.
He's able to recover from it, but like in the meantime, like while on set, like he was starting a romance with Emily Blunt's character.
Okay.
Well, after his accident, he pulls away from everybody, and now he's like, a valet at some Mexican restaurant in LA, and you know, and they convinced him to come back and do this movie because Emily Blunt's character is the director.
Uh-huh.
And while there, the producer, played by Hannah Waddingham, who was most people would know from Ted Lasso.
Okay.
She tells him like, the star of the show, the star of the movie, he's missing. We can't find him. I need you to find him. So he's trying to track the guy down. At one point, he gets drugged, and like the entire sequence was like goofy. Like it wasn't like I was kind of bummed out by the whole thing. Like I didn't think it was like there were some things I was just like, eh. There are other moments that were great that were like, like there's a great car chase scene with a fight, and like it was like a definite like, ode to the stuntmen and everything. But like there was other things where it was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't good.
No good.
Yeah, I'm not digging this at all.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was bummed out. And I mean, it has like a monster cast. Like, I mean, Gosling, Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, the guy who played He was in both the Black Panther movies. He was like
Yeah, yeah,
the guy, like the big guy from the other village.
yeah,
Winston Duke, that's his name.
yeah.
He was in it. Like there's a lot of good people in this movie. Like, and I had a pretty high expectation for it, I guess, and it did not clear that bar.
Really,
Yeah, I was kind of bummed out.
that kind of sucks.
And then the worst part of it all, like the true injustice of the entire movie, you're kind of waiting for like a Lee Majors cameo.
Yeah, yeah,
Like at some point, Lee Majors has to show up.
yeah.
Like just he doesn't have to do it. It's like he just has to like maybe you give him a line or two and that
Pumping gas or something.
yeah. Because they even have like hit like when he's in L.A. his truck is the 82 GMC,
Yeah, yeah,
just like Lee Majors drove in the TV show.
yeah.
And when he goes to Australia, it's like the updated version of that
All right.
truck. So
Okay.
like in LA, he's got the square body pickup truck, and then he's got like a newer version, but it's like the same color scheme and everything.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny. Like they even say, well, I need you to be careful with it. It's a product placement.
Yeah.
And it's like they can make those kind of references because it's a movie.
Yeah.
But like Lee Majors does not show up until like the mid credit scene.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Him and Heather Thomas. And
Really?
Heather Thomas, like, she
Yeah.
got stung by bees in the face.
Really?
Yeah.
No, no good.
No good. And I hate saying that because I mean I understand she's older and everything, but like whoever has been consulting her on her plastic surgery needs.
You know, who still looks good as Christy Brinkley.
She does.
Sick.
Like it's amazing. There are like Heather Locklear still looks really fucking good too.
All right.
Like I mean, remember at that time it was the Battle of the Heathers. You had Heather Locklear on Dynasty and you had Heather Thomas on The Fall Guy,
Yeah.
and it was like, which Heather is your Heather? And I was a Heather Thomas guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Heather Locklear, even though she was married to Tommy Lee, she still looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like how she survived that, I'll never know.
Right.
But like Heather Thomas, she sit like I'm like, is that Heather Thomas? Oh, she looks like she was stuck. Like she looked like a Muppet. Like she looked like Madonna. Like that picture of Madonna where she looked like like I was like, man, whoever's consulting you on your plastic surgery needs shot.
She went down the old
Botox.
Melanie Griffith path.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. But yeah, I thought it was an injustice though that Lee Majors doesn't show up until the after credits scene. I was like, wow, you just did him dirty.
Yeah.
Just did the man dirty. So, but overall, like, and it's a shame because, like, again, I like Gosling. I like everybody in the cast. Like, it was a good cast, and it just somehow missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, I do wonder though, like, I wonder if it tightens up if it's the theatrical version. Like I said, I watched the extended version because that was just like when I turned on Peacock, that's what was like, it was right there. Like, okay, I'll just watch this.
Yeah.
It
was too long.
It wasn't that it was too long. I mean, it was 2.5 hours. Length wasn't the problem. It was like, it felt like it needed tightened.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wasn't like, oh man, I can't believe this is 2.5 hours long. This is so long. This is so long. It felt like there were moments where it was like, man, that went on just a little too long. Like that scene went on for longer than it needed to. Where this, like,
Yeah, I watched a movie like that too. It was damn. It was a great movie, but there was just parts in it that
yeah,
I can't even remember. I thought it was Wahlberg. Can't remember. It was about the spies. Or their own. It was like their own company.
The Union,
Yeah,
the one I talked about last week that I didn't think was that good
the Union.
with Halle Berry.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, this was not. This was like Damn it, if I can't remember who the main character was. I don't know.
Okay.
They were like these. He put this task force together,
Okay.
and like they took them out of their normal world,
Hmm.
and they became ghosts,
Oh, okay.
and they did missions and stuff, but they
Yeah.
were ghosts. They never had their life again. One guy was like a scaler, scaled buildings. The other guy,
That wasn't the one with Ryan Reynolds.
yes,
Like,
that was the one.
yeah.
Great movie, but there were parts in it where like
Yeah.
tightened it up a little bit. You know what I mean? I felt
Yeah.
the same way with what was that The Rock, and was that Ryan Reynolds too?
Yeah.
They just needed tightened
Yeah, the
up.
one with it was hit The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
decent, but it
Yeah, that was just
wasn't
a
great.
yeah.
I think that was probably made during COVID.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it just
Because a
wasn't
lot of
like,
it you could tell was like green screen.
yeah, it just wasn't tight
Yeah.
enough. You know what I mean? So I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's just like it's a thing too sometimes where like often you look at like a deleted scene from a movie and you're like, man, I can't believe they didn't put that in the movie. Like, why did they cut that? But at the same time, there are moments like when you watch a movie and it's like, well, I can see why they took that out because like from a pacing standpoint, that just would have slowed things down, or
Right.
that just reiterates something you already knew. Or like like there are some times where you like watch a deleted scene, and you're just like, man, I can't believe they took that out of the movie. That would have helped. Like there's that great scene. Like it's a one of the best deleted scenes I've ever seen was from Gladiator, and it's Joaquin Phoenix. Like they found the two soldiers who let Russell Crowe get away,
Okay.
and they've got them tied to posts. They're going to execute them,
Uh,
and it's a row of archers, and the captain's like, okay, and draw, and they all draw their bows, and Joaquin Phoenix walks in front of them,
okay.
and he's giving this speech to the two men who are about to be executed, and basically everybody about how you don't disappoint the emperor, you don't do and he's just walking back and forth in front of the archers, and the archers are still at full pull.
Hmm.
They have it, and you could like, and Ridley Scott does a great job of like showing them like shaking
Yeah.
as they're trying to hold their draw and not release because the emperor is directly in front of them, and like it was a phenomenal scene, and like there's a part of me that's like I not understand why this got cut for time because it's a long movie to begin with.
Right.
But at the same time, like if you would have added this scene in, it just plays up a little bit more of what his level of insanity was to a certain extent. Like
Right.
who does that? Like who walks in front of the archers at full draw,
Yeah.
and doesn't have them like release the draw, like just your expectation is they're gonna hold that entire time while you go off on this soliloquy about
How I'm the man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really well done scene, and Ridley Scott, I mean, shoots the shit out of it as he always does. But I was like watching that deleted scene, I'm like, man, this would have made the movie that much better, but it's 5 minutes that you didn't need,
Right. Right.
you know.
Well, I started watching Rings of Power again
Okay.
because I want to watch the new season.
Yeah.
And so I started watching that again.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about really all I watched was I started Rings of Power again.
Yeah, I might
It's
start
a
that
slow
soon.
burner.
It is. It is. It's interesting. Like it's only interesting if you're into it.
Right.
Like if you're like, man, I got this world, and it's weird because it's like it's building the world, but you don't need it because you can know the world, but yet at the same time you kind of need explanations of shit.
Yeah, and you kind of don't know it in a certain sense because
Right.
it's thousands of years ago.
Right.
And so, but there's some really good scenes. I'm up to the third episode, I
Yeah.
think. Maybe the fourth.
Yeah, but it is a slow burn of a show.
It is because it's character introduction and like I really like the dwarf
Yeah.
Durin.
Yeah.
I they did a real good job of doing that scene between him and I almost said Alderaan.
Elmore.
Elrond.
Elrond, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been there in 20 years.
Yeah.
He's upset with them. And
Yeah.
that whole scene's
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I really like that scene. But I have trouble placing like there's names that are thrown around, and it's like, and in your head you're like, this is way before
Yeah.
anybody here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is like
There's no Bilbo, no Frodo. There's no.
like Durin's son is named Gimli,
Yeah.
but I know that's
That's
not
not
Gimli.
right.
It might be a descendant of Gimli,
Yeah.
but it's not, and I know that's not Durin,
Yeah.
like that we know as in The Hobbit.
Right.
I don't. No, it's not.
No.
So the names are familiar, but you're like, it kind of just throws you off for a second. I was like, was that Gimli? No,
Yeah.
that's not Gimli. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so you just try to make those connections. Like when in Lord of the Rings, when they went into where the Balrog was.
Yeah. That
I can't remember the name.
Moria.
Moria.
The Mines
the
of
Mines
Moria.
of Moria.
Yeah.
And that was Durin
Yeah.
in the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Durin that we know from The Hobbit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you make that connection.
Yeah.
Gimli makes that connection because he not only knew them, but he really knew them because Gimli was the son of one of the dwarves in The Hobbit.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm trying to get all my Tolkien out. Yeah, it's hard to remember all that.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's as bad as trying to remember Game of Thrones bloodlines.
Right. But then you're like, then you go into the whole of, who is this person
Yeah.
from space or the meteor?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever been,
This,
that was never rectified in the first season.
No, it was not. And the assumption is it's Gandalf.
The assumption is,
Yeah.
but all that fire, yeah, I don't know. He's definitely a magic user.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But is it Gandalf or is it Sauron?
Yeah, you just don't.
You don't know. Like the assumption has always been it's Gandalf.
Yeah, and it keeps you on edge too.
And there's a number of times like I see he's wearing like a gray robe or a gray blanket over him, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Gandalf.
And he's very tall.
Yeah, like but he's very tall as compared to.
Well, he's also very tall though.
Right, but he's
Hardfoots.
Yeah, not that. Yeah,
like pre-Hobbit.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, but it is that thing of like, yeah. So the assumption is.
But I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what wizard it is. I mean, it's definitely not Radagast. But I mean, like,
yeah.
And the other wizards are not allowed to be used, right?
I think so. Yeah.
There's two more, right? Was there 5 or 4?
I think it was 5.
There's a blue wizard.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it Sauron? Right?
Yeah.
He was 1, right?
Yeah.
Gandalf. The Gray.
Right.
Radagast.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they mentioned there's a blue wizard.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain, yeah.
And another wizard. But the other 2 wizards, they couldn't be used for some kind of licensing rights or some shit.
Yeah, there's...
Not that they needed them in there.
No.
I don't remember them in the book. I should, but
yeah, but it's that odd thing. Like, 'cause I think like they were more in the Sumerian.
Yeah.
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 Like, yeah, it's like that weird thing of like, I mean, it's the same thing like with, like if I'm making a DC Comics TV show,
yeah,
like DC Comics will only give me the rights to certain characters that I can use,
right?
So like, yeah, I'm making a show, but I can't have Joker and Penguin, but I can have Captain Cold and I can have, like,
yeah.
It's like this weird thing of like how writes play with like a T. Like yeah, it's like an
It's
odd.
very strange to me.
It is.
But yeah. So yeah, I started watching that. Yeah, but you just don't know. But there are moments with him, with the guy,
Yeah.
that like is he just releasing this rage because he doesn't know or he's scared, or is he releasing this rage because it's in him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is he just that newborn? I guess I don't know.
Right.
Like when
Because
he
also Gandalf always shows like a bit. There is a bit of a dark side to Gandalf.
there is,
You see it once every once in a while. He'll like,
but he doesn't
it,
usually kill.
no. But Jackson always did a really good job of kind of like with this lighting, like showing like, oh, this is the dark side of Gandalf, and it's gone. You
Especially
know?
when they were all arguing in the Hobbit house. And
Yeah.
the lights grew dim, and he grew,
Yeah.
and almost he projected his voice, and
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah.
And even the fight with the Balrog was dark.
Yeah.
The whole "you shall not pass" and Master Wizard coming to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Versus,
You fools.
yeah, exactly. Versus, talking to the moth. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
get the eagles. But I mean,
Yes.
you know what I mean. But there was that part, and there was also that part in the new Ring series where he's talking to the Fireflies.
Yeah.
He's like, and she's
Yeah.
like, I don't speak Firefly. I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But he's talking to the Fireflies and he's telling them what to do,
Yeah.
sort of. And he's like, that's where I need to be. And I couldn't make out if that was the trident. I didn't know what he was trying to do, like
Right.
where he came from. But, the funny thing about it is right after he did that, all the Fireflies died.
Yeah.
And that's not Gandalf.
No.
Or is that just he doesn't know his own power yet?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very odd situation.
Right. It's Gandalf for him to talk to the Fireflies.
Right.
But it's not Gandalf for the Fireflies to die.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's not him.
Right.
So, yeah, there's that. I don't know. It's strange. I don't know if it's Gandalf or not. That was the big question. Who is he?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like there was like, is it Gandalf? And then there were people like, oh, it's Sauron. Like
I
that.
don't think it's Sauron.
Well, no, Sauron's the guy traveling with
Yeah, I know that.
yeah. But
But
there was like at that time it was like the speculation, like there was all sorts of speculation about well who's who. Like the unknown characters, okay, the guy traveling with Arwen is like, well, who's he?
yeah, and interesting thing about that is like, now that you know the end, no, not the end, but you know who he is,
Yeah.
it explains the fight scene.
Yeah.
Going back, it also explains, I think we should stay here for a little bit and exploit what we can and
Yeah.
use these people.
Exactly.
Do you
yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And like, I find that interesting as well because he kind of needs somewhat of an army, and
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he needs a little money right now.
Yeah.
He's got to do something, and he wants to work in the metal shop, and all these things. I was like, now looking back, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But he did give her blade back to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's done beautifully. I think it, but is that it was like is that like it was like it was like playing that game with Marvel all the time with like what's Mephisto?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, clearly it's Mephisto.
Right.
And
well, they're doing that, and I like that.
Right.
And at one point, I was like, man, that looks like not person but place. I was like, man, that looks like Gondor.
Yeah.
The way it's designed.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that's Gondor. They're on at sea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's certain shots of it. Like,
yeah. Like the way the architecture is and stuff.
correct. Yeah. It's like, man, that looks like Gondor.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked that show. I mean, I know the season 2 just started. I need to sit down and watch
And they
it.
pump money in it.
Yeah.
They pumped money in it to a point of special effects and stuff like that. but they pumped a lot of money into scenery.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much that was digitally created. Maybe they put some waterfalls in and stuff, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're filming it in New Zealand,
I think so. Yeah.
and it looks like,
Yeah.
and I mean, the scene shots are just like there's a lot of panoramic shots,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of like I'm sure it's the shot of a side of a mountain, and then they CGI'd in
Right.
the city.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Like,
As long as I don't see that fucking white orc from the third one, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That was like the worst.
Yeah.
It's almost like they ran out of money or they wouldn't give them any money for effects. I had a lot of problems with that third movie. But like some of the orcs were like I think I could see some makeup.
Like the third Planet of the Apes movie where they just like started like buying Halloween masks.
Yes. Yes. That's how I felt with Lord of the Rings.
Like we're just
Return of the King.
Yeah, we're getting to the end.
There were some moments in that film where I had more problems with the orcs. I didn't have any problems with the rest of the guys. There was a couple bad CGIs with the elves and the fighting and stuff. I had problems with the elephants and I had problems with Legolas.
The ghosts were the worst.
They were. But I had problems with they were. That was like Haunted Mansion ghosts.
Yeah.
But I did have problems. That was the worst.
Like when they all come off the boat and it just looks like a cloud of ghosts.
And people just start dying.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I think there should have been more invested in that, but I think there wasn't a lot of investment in that third movie. I think there was more investment in CGI than there were certain parts of that movie that were fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. I will not take that away. I mean, there were certain parts of that movie where that shit is badass. Then there are other parts of that movie where like, I can see that orc's wallet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
is that orc wearing a Timex?
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that a kiwi under there?
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand parts of it that were. I mean, all he's doing is and this fake head, and I'm like, oh man, it just looked bad. Like compared to that, I compare it to the orc in the first one that killed.
Yeah.
Vormir. Is it Vormir from Gondor?
Yeah.
Yeah. That orc was fucking. Oops, sorry. Amazing.
Yeah.
With the bow and shit.
Yeah.
When I saw that on screen, I was like, "Oh my goodness, that is incredible!"
Like even it's almost like they got through the second movie, and they got through the siege.
Oh yeah, Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, yeah, and they like the makeup people were just like,
yeah, I'm tapped out.
We've got to figure out a way to make this go faster because so by the time you get like to the Battle of Gondor, and everything is going on there, it's like. Yeah, we're just gonna like you use some like Elmer's glue to put this on your face and
yeah, dude, it's like they fucking
like we're done.
Where's the rubber, cement, and duct tape?
Yeah, I've been at this.
Wasn't good.
I've been at this too fucking long. I am done.
Yeah,
let's just get through this.
Exactly.
Like it was almost like a death march to get to the end of that movie for those poor makeup people.
Yeah, they were like, fuck it, I'm tapping out.
How much are you on screen? We're just gonna
put a scarf on him.
Yeah.
It just didn't look good. It did not. It just didn't. It looked horrible. There are parts of it that were just absolutely horrendous.
I just spent a couple $1,000s at a Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah.
We're just going to put these on you because you're not really on camera.
That's the way it felt.
Yeah.
That's the way the makeup felt in the third one.
Yeah.
It just was not good. I mean, the main characters, of course, were good.
Right. But it was...
I didn't like... And looking back at it, I haven't watched Return of the King that much because it's my least favorite of the films.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, the whole Legolas elephant scene, everybody said it was badass back then. It's horrible.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
I think it was cool that the drawback with the three arrows into the head was cool.
Yeah.
But then you didn't have to slide down the freaking tail and
Like he's fucking Fred Flintstone.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't. And like the guys on the elephants were a little Mad Max-ish. I loved it.
Yeah.
But then it just became too CGI. Like
Yeah.
when they swung, right? That was like, but the killing of the Nazgul was like really good.
Yeah.
I am no man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's badass.
That was. Yeah.
I mean, that's like wicked.
I agree.
I mean, that was like, I mean, she just fucking chomped him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a really good part. And there's a lot of good parts. When Gandalf kicked that dude in the head on top of the tower,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's right. You know what I mean? And then he like proceeded to like his, I don't know what you would call it, but like this spoken word obit as he
Yeah. Yeah.
dives off the tower.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah. What he's.
I forget what he says, but
Yeah. When
there passes da 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 something. I forget the exact line when he said.
Yeah. He sets himself on fire and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of a. And that was
It's
John Noble's like the caretaker of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the horse kick that kicked him into the fire.
Yeah.
I-
But yeah, like John Noble, so fucking good. I love
Yeah.
I'll watch John Noble in damn near anything.
But it was good but see, there was good parts in King too, like the relationship between him and Pippin.
Yeah.
Is it Pippin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Gandalf's like the eyes, the
Yeah.
caring for him. And,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like all that was like really, really good. I felt. I mean,
I mean, the
the
good
saving of Faramir.
the good outweighs the bad in that movie. It honestly does. Like, I mean, it does. Except like even like you sit there and you said like oh man, it's fucking 7 endings. So I hate to break it to you, the book had 10.
Yeah.
Know, they cut 3 endings.
Yeah, I get it.
But like that movie, I mean, and you're right, it's my least favorite of the 3 as well. But at the same time, it's good enough.
I'm sure.
That you're saying like we're nitpicking at.
We are nitpicking, but we just went through the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Right.
Right. And that's to me, that was sort of like the pinnacle. That was a major fucking battle.
Yeah. I mean, The Two Towers is a masterpiece of a movie that's the one that should have won the Academy Award, not Return of the King.
Agreed.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like they gave it to Return of the King as kind of like here's for the entire trilogy. Thank you, Peter Jackson, for your amazing work. But at the meeting, like, Return of the King was The Two Towers was the one that 100% deserved that Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
everything
the
about that
introduction
movie.
of the Ents.
Yeah.
The Battle of Deep. All of it was good. Helm's Deep.
I mean, that's what
bringing back the Riders of Rohan, awakening the king again. Come on.
And the whole thing, like, I mean, that's where you really get Gollum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's where, I mean, you see bits and pieces of him in the first movie, but I mean, and Andy Serkis's portrayal of Gollum.
Yeah.
Like, again, like that's something I thought deserved an Academy Award, at least a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, because he's amazing in that role.
Yeah, he is. But it's just, yeah. I mean, that was such a good. Helm's Deep is such. I mean, Towers is such a good film.
Yeah.
It was. I really love the Ents too. As
You know,
slow as they were.
Yeah. But deliberate and everything about them,
but it's meant to be slow.
Yeah.
They talked like this.
Yeah.
Where are you going? It was
to them they have time.
Exactly, and that's what was portrayed by the way they spoke.
Right, and when they find out they don't have time,
it was on. Like Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
he did the fucking Tarzan yell, and they were all there, boy. You're all gonna die if you don't do something.
Yeah,
And I liked that was good too. The conversation between him and the hobbits.
Yeah,
little orc. You know what I mean? Like, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I do. I think I need to watch Watch it again. I
Yeah,
watch it. It's my favorite series. It's one of my favorite series ever. I can watch it forever.
yeah. I agree. Like, I mean,
I
it's
don't get me wrong. I like The Hobbit too,
yeah.
but I only like certain things in The Hobbit.
Like that should have been 2 movies, not 3.
Agreed. And it should have been shortened, right? It didn't need to have all that, right? I didn't like Legolas in it either.
Yeah, Legolas didn't need to be in it.
None of that stuff needed to happen.
No, like they add, like Peter Jackson added to it to make it three movies, and it didn't need to be 3 movies. It needed to be 2.
I
Like
mean, I like the interaction between Legolas and his father.
yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I appreciate that,
right.
right? Um, but he didn't need to be in the movie. He didn't
No,
need to. He was like a hitchhiker.
yeah,
I didn't appreciate it. But I did like the dwarves
yeah. Oh, the door. I mean, in the first movie, like the scene in the house in Bilbo's house is amazing, and yeah,
that whole song
yeah,
chant. That was that's wicked.
yeah. And I mean, like Smog is fantastic, and like I mean, like the stuff that's actually in the book, you were just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, but there was also stuff like they added Radagast.
Yeah,
Radagast isn't in that book,
yeah,
you know, and but they added him in, and like the whole thing with like, well, Sauron's looking to return, and like they added stuff in that didn't really need to be there,
right,
but Peter Jackson was trying so hard to make more connective tissue
right.
than it really needed.
Yeah, I don't think it needed it. I think it could have been a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to add all that in.
Like I think 2 movies does it justice. Like you could have done it in 1, yes. But I think 2 movies really does that book justice because you get everything in.
Yeah,
Like you could have done it as 1 and cut a lot of shit out and still
and I did like the barrel scene
yeah.
because that reminded me of the book.
But that was in the book.
Right, I know.
Yeah, I mean like there are like you could have
The fight scenes were incredible.
right. Like there was so much like that the book is big enough that you could have cut it in 2 and had 2 good very good movies.
Right.
Stretching it to 3 and adding in the additional stuff that you added in, I waters it down. Like it didn't need a third movie.
Right.
If you just do it as 2 and stick to the book, like you did with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, then you've got something there.
Um, I especially those flashback scenes to the war.
Yeah,
Oh, incredible. Oak when he picks up the oak
yeah,
shield or the oak wood piece.
yeah,
That was badass. Now that white orc looked good.
yeah. No, I mean even like I mean you get to the end, you get the Battle of the Three Kings or the War of the Three Kings. I mean that was phenomenally well done.
Yeah.
You know, like everything about you're right. Like it's a good enough as a trilogy that you enjoy it, but I feel like if you trimmed it down and just made it 2 movies, it would have been far better.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like you know what I mean? Like
It didn't need to be 3 movies
Yeah.
drawn out in length. It just did not need to be.
No, it did not.
But I like the whole thing of the journey, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I liked about the Fellowship.
Yeah.
I like the journey. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as I like the second one, but I like the battles in the second one. I like the
Right.
Rohan coming to life again, the riders coming back,
Right.
the power.
On the look to the east on the 5th day when the sun rises.
And that whole scene was that was one of the best scenes ever, especially when they start coming down the hill.
Yeah.
It was like something you would see in the Bible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like one of those like drawings in a Bible, or you're like it here's Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Like I get what you're saying.
Like it was
like that.
angelic.
Yeah.
Him up there at the east.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. But I mean, there was a lot of things there's just a lot of things I liked about the movies. And that's that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite series. I mean, I wouldn't put it over Star Wars, but
I mean,
it's right there.
there's only one return. It's not of the king. It's of the Jedi.
That's true.
That is true.
But well, even Return of the Jedi wasn't that great.
No, but take away you.
That had some faults.
Yeah, I mean,
You talk about seeing makeup on the eyes. This guy an Ewok, or is he playing football?
I forgive that because it's 1983, not
I do
2001.
not. Do you remember whoever did? Like, we watched a lot of fantasy movies over the years,
Yeah.
right? And Willow and like all these fantasies type movies. But I think some of the best makeup I've ever seen, and you're probably gonna laugh at this, but it was probably Lady Hawk. I felt more with the makeup and the time period and the way it was filmed. I felt like I was in those villages, and I felt like it took me back to
Lady Hawk
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk is an underrated classic, and it's an underrated classic for two reasons. Number one, you're right. Like, it's an extraordinarily well done film, but also, again, it's that first use of like morphing technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a more of a computer generated effect of watching Michelle Pfeiffer transform from a falcon to a person, and Rudger Hauer from a person to a wolf. Like, it was like those transformations were very similar to like the first Howling movie.
Yes. And very unlike the Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
That's the only way I can describe it.
You know, I mean, and it was, but they also like
Banner's looking, you see the green eyes, and all of a sudden you get a big fucking
Lou
green
Ferrigno.
thing with a fro.
Yeah.
With a terrible hairpiece. That was awful.
You want to talk about a show like
They even spray painted the hair on the hairpiece.
like
Certain light, you can see the green.
like the thing I'll never understand.
You want me to scream?
Like we just talked about it. Like, you get the Incredible Hulk as a TV show, but you never once use an Incredible Hulk villain.
No.
You get Spider-Man as a TV show. You
Yeah.
never use any Spider-Man villain.
No.
Like, it was like that thing of like, why are you making a why are you doing Spider-Man as like a regular procedural when you have this cavalcade of villains that you could somehow find a way to bring to life on TV?
Right.
Like, no. Same thing with the Incredible Hulk. It was like, you know, David Banner comes to town as a hitchhiker,
Right.
as a hobo.
Yeah.
He gets a job at like some general store
Yeah, exactly.
as a stalker. You know,
Yeah.
making some extra money.
Mhm.
You know,
There's a girl in trouble.
yeah, there's a girl in trouble, or you know, there's the town rich guy who, you know, wants to own everything, and you know, here comes the Hulk.
Yeah. Throwing some cars around.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Like, you had like a massive, and like Marvel's like, no, you just get the main character.
Man, just use the Hulk.
Yeah.
Do with him what you will.
Yeah, well, we can't let you have any of his villains.
You know, in all those movies, I don't ever, all those Marvel movies on Hulk, I don't ever remember, unless I'm just not remembering them, that I don't ever remember seeing that Hulk jump. Remember how he
No.
jumped?
Yeah, like in the comic book, like, I mean, yeah. No, he never did that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he ran.
Yeah.
Like,
He ran everywhere.
Lou Ferrigno was on the move.
Yeah, I'm not even from the TV show. Even
Yeah.
from the books, as I can remember, he had this jump where he
Yeah.
could just jump like fucking 6 football fields.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he had that big
Arcing jump.
I think they showed it in the Edward Norton one. I think he jumps.
Did he?
Yeah, like because you have that confrontation in
See,
the
that Norton one wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. It's just that apparently Edward Norton was a dick. But that's the rumor, like But but you have that moment where Ross is trying to capture him at the university, and you've got like those big like sound projectors and stuff that are shooting like sound waves at him and stuff.
Right.
And I think at the end of that, like he collects Betty because she's like hurt.
Right.
He collects her and then he leaps away.
Yeah.
Because like the next scene you see is like they're like some mountain and he's in a cave with her. He's still like in Hulk mode and he's scared of the thunder. It's pissing him off and she calms him down.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you like that version of the? Which Hulk version do you like out of the movies?
I think I mean I like that Incredible Hulk movie because it was really like the first time you got like a Hulk villain.
Right.
Like even the Ang Lee one, you really didn't get like a real Hulk villain.
Right.
In this you get a Hulk villain, which I liked. Um, but I think like the version of the Hulk in um Age of Ultron
Yeah.
is like my favorite version of Hulk
Yeah.
because it's out of control but in control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the rage is still there, but he's learned to contain it in a way.
Yeah. He's a little bit more mindful,
Yeah,
if that's the best way to describe it. I
like he's willing to work with the team.
yeah. Versus being just craziness.
Yeah, like
I mean, even they did that in Infinity War too. Not Infinity War, but
they do it in the
the
first
first
movie.
Avengers.
Yeah, the first Avenger a little bit.
Hulk
Yeah,
smash.
yeah,
Oh, that was good though.
that was.
When Hulk was jumping on, and he did jump there. Remember, he was jumping
Yeah,
on them buildings and
yeah,
fucking smashing their goddamn head in the thing.
yeah.
Dude, that was like
Oh yeah, there was a lot of like, oh
when
shit
him and
moments.
Thor took down that fucking thing.
Yeah,
That was, he tossed him that thing. And whoa,
yeah.
man, that was wicked.
Like
That's the coolest thing about those movies is that they showed that team up aspect.
yeah, like later on when you get into
Iron Man and the Shield.
yeah,
Oh,
when you get later on in like the version of Hulk and Thor Ragnarok,
yeah,
I wasn't big on that.
and I like Smart Hulk and I don't like Smart Hulk.
Right, I do like I like.
I'm indifferent.
I'm the same way. Like I like the Smart Hulk, but like I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Like
I like that version. I think the best part of I bet the best version I saw of that Hulk really was when they were in the diner with Scott. He was like, "Yeah, you won."
yeah,
Yeah, come on, you won. Is
yeah, yeah,
Hulk smash.
yeah,
He's just going through the motions.
yeah. Like I mean,
Like every day.
yeah,
He's like,
he like embraced being a celebrity, and
he has like 35 eggs on his plate.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, no big deal. Like it was amusing. I like that version of Hulk, but like there was something to like that version in Age of Ultron I just liked a little bit more.
Yeah. I also like that part when he went to Thor's place when Thor became fat.
Yeah,
And Thor started grabbing his ass.
yeah,
And like for that split second, it was a split second. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. I was written, but he got angry.
yeah,
He was like, "Don't ever touch me."
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the anger, like the old Hulk was starting to come out a little
Yeah.
bit. He was like controlling it, I guess.
yeah,
But he was like, "Yeah, don't ever fucking touch me again."
yeah,
You know. But I thought it was really cool because I mean, you're looking at the two most powerful Avengers.
yeah,
I mean, well, two of the most powerful. What am I trying to say? Two of the most powerful heroes,
yeah. Beings
heroes of the Marvel universe there are is
Yeah.
between the two of them. I mean, they're all powerful.
right.
I mean, you can't kill Hulk. I mean, we can, but I mean, like,
Well, I mean, he even says it at one point. Like, yeah, I ate a bullet, the big guy spit it out.
Exactly.
You know.
And we know the power of Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, Thor is probably one of the most powerful.
Yeah.
When you say in the Marvel Universe, he has to be ranked.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the highest, along with Hulk.
Well, I mean, that's the joke. I mean, they make the joke in Ragnarok. The how do you power up the Quinjet? Well, you have to answer who's the most powerful Avenger? And Thor gives it. Well, Thor. Or okay, fine, it's not Thor. What would uh what would Stark? What name would Stark use for me? Oh, it was um what's it called? The movie with Keanu Reeves and
Oh, Gross Point Blank.
yeah,
Or
Point
Point
Blank.
Break or
Point
something.
Break.
Yeah.
No, that's incorrect. Banner comes in, he's like, Hulk, and everything powers up. And he's like, Thor's like pissed. I'm the most powerful Avenger. I hate to break it to you, you're not.
Yeah, Ragnarok wasn't good. The fight scene between him and Thor was good. The first fight.
Yeah,
I mean, in the arena.
yeah.
I like that.
The problem with Ragnarok is it suffers from the same problem a lot of movies do. Like, there are moments where you're like, fuck, that is just badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fight between Thor and Hulk. Like that's badass. That moment where Thor calls down the thunder,
Yeah.
and then like he's riding the lightning coming down to the Rainbow Bridge, and they're playing the Led Zeppelin song, and you're just like, oh shit, like that stuff like that was
Yeah,
bad.
it gave me chills right there. I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah, like there are a lot of like badass moments in that movie, but overall, it unlike Return of the King, in that movie, the bad outweighs the good.
It does.
The Rise of Skywalker. There are a lot of moments in that movie I'm like, oh shit, that's so badass. But in that movie, also, the bad outweighs the good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a couple ruining moments for me in those movies, and one of those moments was Jeff Goldblum. I know, but I just didn't appreciate the character because it was Jeff Goldblum. Like, Jeff Goldblum doesn't come out of character.
No, Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum.
Correct.
In every movie.
And I just couldn't get into it. I get it on the weirdness side.
Yeah.
But I didn't see its place in that movie. Was he funny at certain parts? Yeah. But I wasn't looking at a Goldblum movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Same thing with Zeus. The portrayal of Zeus.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? In Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Love and Thunder. There was a lot of good parts in Love and Thunder.
There was. But
I wouldn't go.
That whole Zeus thing does.
It killed.
Put a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, it just killed it for me.
Right.
Killed it.
It does. It's but there's a lot more like Love and Thunder. At least there's a more to love in that movie than there is to hate. But the problem is what you hate a lot.
I really hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind the goats. I thought the goats were like a perfect addition to that movie.
Yeah.
And he provided some comedic relief.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Nebula was just going to take it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I couldn't understand. I just couldn't get past the Zeus part.
Right.
The fight scene was good.
Yeah.
I mean, the fight scene between all that was good.
Right.
But that poor ass accent that he had.
Yeah.
And he was fat, which I couldn't understand. It's Zeus. I mean, he didn't even look like, my depiction of Zeus does not look like. Not that he's supposed to look like Hercules or anything.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like, I expect him to see him getting a deli sandwich in New York.
I don't mind a fat Zeus, but his accent was horrible. And then you throw on top of it, like, and it's going to sound funny coming from me because I'm the guy who loves crude humor more than anybody, but like the stuff about the orgy and everything, like
it just kept going.
Yeah, like,
it was a running joke that just kept dying.
Yeah,
and you have kids going to it.
Yeah,
and you just keep saying it.
Now I gotta explain to my 10-year-old what an orgy is.
Exactly. I mean, like, it just didn't make a whole
Yeah.
lot of sense.
It's when a man and a woman and another man and a woman and another man and a woman
Yeah, it just it didn't
give each other
fit.
special tickles.
It didn't
Yeah.
fit, just like he didn't fit in that role.
Yeah.
Right? It was all of it was bad.
Right.
The whole dialogue was just not good.
Yeah, I agree.
It just didn't make any sense. And he tried to make it too funny. And I know that's his sense of humor.
Yeah.
I get it. And he's done some great things. I'm talking about the director.
Yeah.
He's done some good stuff. But
Yeah, I mean,
there was a lot of jokes that fell flat
yeah.
for me. Which didn't make a whole lot of sense. I just can't get over that orgy part. And the horrible accent.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you can't pull off an accent, then there needs some like Conan the Barbarian goes to New York type of shit going on.
Yeah.
Or Hercules in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a voice over that shit. That was like, that was horrid. I mean, from New York. That was horrible.
What was the other movie Schwarzenegger did? It's a Western.
I don't know.
There's a Western Schwarzenegger did. It is fucking awful. And it's got like, I gotta look this up because it's got like a bunch of like really good actors in it and him and like this horrible Western. Oh, oh man, he's done so much shit.
Dude, Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Was that it? The villain? Yeah. I mean, it's got Kirk Douglas and Anne Margaret in it.
Mm.
And this thing is a fucking stinker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he the bad guy?
No, he's like a dupe,
Uh-huh.
if I recall. Like
He's
it's just,
always been a dupe.
yeah. But I mean, like it's supposed to be a comedy. I it's part of the problem because it's got Ruth Buzzy, it's got Paul Lind, um, Mel Tillis is in it. Like I mean, it's yeah. But Foster Brooks is in it.
Red Skull.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Red Skeleton, unfortunately. But like it was just like this just horrible movie. And the problem is like Schwarzenegger was so bad at acting still. Even though he'd done he'd done like an episode of Streets of San Francisco and a few other things, like he was just still so fucking bad at acting.
Right.
That and they're giving him lines that is like after that comes Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
And that was when somebody figured out well, we can't let him talk.
Yeah.
Like what makes why is Schwarzenegger so fucking good in Conan the Barbarian and Terminator?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a grand total of 10 lines in each movie.
Right.
Like he was still learning to act. He was still learning how to deliver dialogue. So let's minimize his weaknesses as much as possible and emphasize his strengths. Well, what are his strengths? Well, he's a badass looking motherfucker.
Right.
Let's give him a sword. Let's give him a big fucking gun.
Right.
And let's stick to what he does best, looking menacing.
Right.
I mean, if you even look at
I'm listening.
Conan the Destroyer,
Right.
he talks way too much in that movie.
Yes, he does.
It was like the movies that he excelled at that time were anything that he had like minimal lines in.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we've rambled on enough.
Okay.
Let me see. If that Apparently last week Thad did not send in an email because he was busy golfing and forgot to.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um, so let me see here. He sent the double email. Um, Trying to see if there's anything. What do you think of the news for Happy Gilmore 2?
Mm,
Yeah, I got nothing.
sounds like a stinker.
I'm sure it'll be like, a direct Netflix film for Sandler, and I'll watch it because it's Happy Gilmore 2, and you know, I don't know. you know,
Right.
that's I mean, how much can you play off that joke a second time, I guess is the real thing.
Right.
You know. Like that's that I mean and plus I mean when you have
It's
like
like Parenthood too. That was bad.
yeah. Um then the second email he sends in, Penn State's playing West Virginia this week, or at West Virginia. Very rarely in my life have I ever hoped a stadium imploded upon itself, but this would be the game I do.
Okay.
Like 'cause I can't stand either team.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope you enjoy the game. I know McAfee was in West Virginia yesterday. Like he did the show from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Like they closed the school down. Like I would at one point you were going down to Morgantown for work.
Right.
It was like one of those times like, man, I'm glad Ina's not there today.
No.
Because it would have been a clusterfuck.
It is.
Like even more so.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's horrid.
Yeah. So all I know is this. There are times where a home field advantage can, like, I know Penn State's favored by like 8.5, I think, in this game. And there are times where a home field
Who?
Penn State,
They're at West Virginia.
they're at West Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did they ring that one up?
Well, they signed a 2-year contract with them.
Okay.
They played it at Penn State last year. They're playing at West Virginia this year.
Yeah.
And it's one of those times where, like, if West Virginia can stay in that game, like if it is like a one-score game, like in the fourth quarter, that place is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
Like I've seen enough West Virginia games over the years that, and this is like they said, like the biggest home opener for West Virginia since 1998.
I believe that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like, if West Virginia can keep it close going into the fourth quarter, that crowd may be a deciding factor.
Yeah.
Because as much as I don't like West Virginia, I will freely admit that is one of the nastiest places to play. because it's so tight and it's just so like those people are just fucking nuts.
They are.
I've seen them in enough pit games to tell you they are fucking nuts.
I agree.
So, like, Penn State better have a big lead going into the fourth quarter. If not, you might be seeing an upset.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah,
It's a tough place to play,
it is.
especially when the crowd's into it.
Yeah,
They're always into it.
right. And I like the funny thing is I can't say that about Pitt because, like, if Penn State comes to Pitt or West Virginia comes to Pitt, half the crowd is for the other team.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
When those three teams, Notre Dame, Penn State, and West Virginia, when they come to Pitt, I will freely tell you, half the crowd is for the other team.
Yeah.
It is not a home field advantage for Pitt.
Yeah.
West Virginia will not be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing like when Ohio State goes to Penn State, when Michigan goes to Penn State, that there is no takeover.
Right.
It's 100,000 plus Penn State fans.
Right.
Like I wish Pitt was that way. It's not. It never will be. Pitt could be a top 10 team, and they're not going to sell out Heinz Field
No.
or Acrisure Stadium. Like, it's just not going to happen. People here don't watch college football.
Right.
This is a pro football town, not a college football town.
Yeah. I agree with you.
The only time that they had massively good attendance was the first 5 years that Heinz Field opened, because you couldn't get Steeler tickets, so people bought Pitt tickets to at least see the stadium.
Right.
After the allure of the stadium wore off, you went from having 50,000 people to having 20,000 people.
Right.
And sometimes not even that much. I guarantee you, like, they're playing Kent State right now as we're recording the show. I could almost guarantee, without even having looked at any pictures of the crowd, that after the game, the players could probably stand at the exits and shake everybody's hand.
Right.
Because there's not that few people there.
Right.
And then, and immediately after, they can go and enjoy the Rib Fest.
Right.
So but West Virginia is going to be a buzzsaw. If that, like, the only way you survive it is if you get up to a big lead and can hold it. Because if West Virginia's in that game in the fourth quarter, you're on an upset alert. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nope, not going there. He states, I've been watching on Netflix The Discovery of Witches. I'm through season 2 and 1 more to go. It is really good. Okay. I've heard people talk about that. I'm not sure if it has my interest.
Yeah.
Have you watched season 2 of Rings of Power? It's pretty good so far. Yeah, I haven't watched yet. Tomorrow's our fantasy football draft. Thad talks a great deal about wanting to put his foot in my ass for some reason. Like he acts like he's the undisputed champion when he hasn't won jack or shit.
Right.
Stork was our champion last year. Not you, Thad. I can't even remember if you made the playoffs. Playoffs? Just a friendly reminder, my opening night for my Halloween show is next Saturday, the 7th. You are all invited. We will have food, drinks, and naked jello wrestling. Let me know if you are interested. Well, definitely no. Especially with that naked jello wrestling, because I know it's you. You are the naked wrestler. Nobody wants to see that. So there you go. That's Thad's email.
Cool.
Anything you'd like to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, I'm good.
Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. I guess that's an email like Thad does each and every week. And that email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. We're very, very easy to find. And we are on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangibound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search. You find all their great podcasts we have to offer, or they have to offer, excuse me. And as always, I want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to check us out each and every week, even with the screaming children in the background. We can't thank you enough for your support. It means the world to us.
It does.
And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.